Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O King Parikshit, great sages who were completely aware of the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies took charge of the Surabhi cow, which produced all the yogurt, milk, and ghee absolutely necessary for offering oblations into the fire. They did this just for the sake of pure ghee, which they wanted for the performance of sacrifices, to elevate themselves to the higher planetary systems, up to Brahmaloka. Purport. Surabhi cows are generally found in the Vaikuntha planets. As described in Brahma Samhita, Lord Krishna, on his planet, Goloka Vrindavan, engages in tending the Surabhi cows. Surabhir Abhipalayantam, Brahma Samhita 5.29. These cows are the Lord's pet animals. From the Surabhi cows, one can take as much milk as one needs, and one may milk these cows as many times as he desires. In other words, the Surabhi cow can yield milk unlimitedly. Milk is necessary for the performance of yajna. Sages know how to use milk to elevate human society to the perfection of life. Since cow protection is recommended everywhere in the Shastras, the Brahmavadis took charge of the Surabhi cow, in which the demons were not very interested. So once again the text. Tam agnihotrim rishayo jagrihur brahmavadina yagyasya devayanasya medhyaya havishe nripa. O King Parikshit, great sages who were completely aware of the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies took charge of the Surabhi cow, which produced all the yogurt, milk, and ghee absolutely necessary for offering oblations into the fire. They did this just for the sake of pure ghee, which they wanted for the performance of sacrifices, to elevate themselves to the higher planetary systems, up to Brahmaloka. Here it is further described what was happening in the process of churning of the milk ocean. After poison came out first, then all the good things started coming. And the first object which appeared from the ocean of milk was the Surabhi cow. By the way, this pastime of churning of the milk ocean is very famous not only in India, as we know from Prabhupada's books that Vedic culture was spread all over the world, and even today, if you go to so many countries, especially in Southeast Asia, if you go to Bangkok, actually not in the arrival but in the departure lounge, you will see huge, gigantic diorama of churning of the milk ocean. Demons on one side, demigods on the other side, pulling the Vasuki, and Lord Vishnu standing on the top of Mandara mountain in a dancing pose. And when I saw it first, because it's so far away from India, I could never believe that this is the same pastime from Bhagavatam. I thought maybe it's kind of Thai legend, which is kind of similar to the description of Bhagavatam. But when I came closer, I saw the plaque, which was describing what diorama is depicting, and that was what it was. Demons and demigods churning the milk ocean, pulling the Vasuki snake, and using Mandara mountain as a churning rod, and then on the top of the mountain stands Lord Vishnu in his form of Dhanvantari. So, and if you go to other countries, of course, especially Cambodia, where we still have the biggest Vishnu temple on the planet, and Amazingly enough, it is situated outside of India. And it's called Angkor Wat. And there are so many bas-reliefs on the walls describing different scenes from Mahabharata, Ramayana. And this temple was built by one Tamil king. Apparently Tamil kings were controlling the whole Southeast Asia. And this king's family name was Raja Varman. But he also was initiated. And his initiated name was Param Vishnu Loka Maharaj. And that's all described in there. And it's very amazing to see how so many tour guides in so many languages of the world, Japanese, French, German, Russian, all kinds of languages, Chinese, they explain to so many tourists how in the days of yours, the Supreme Lord for all people was Lord Vishnu. And this whole temple complex is dedicated to him. And incidentally, any of you have been to Angkor Wat? Besides myself? I highly recommend if you have opportunity. Actually, when I was there, I was thinking, devotees should be there doing, tour guides and preaching to the people, because people are so interested. They come because they're interested in archaeology and history, but it's such a wonderful preaching opportunity to explain to the people that the original culture and the original religion, we can say, or spirituality of this planet is worshipping Lord Vishnu or Krishna. And then there are so many what do you call them, balustrades along the path leading to so many temples, and each balustrade depicts churning of the milk ocean. The handrail is made in the form of a Vasuki snake, and then on one side demons are holding Vasuki snake, and on the other side are all the demigods. So this pastime of churning of the milk ocean is very, very popular all over the world, even today, what to speak of Vedic times. And here it is described the first good result which was produced from the churning of the milk ocean, and that was the Surabhi cow. And the rishis who were there, great sages, they immediately wanted this Surabhi cow for themselves, and they had not much competition because demons were not interested in having the Surabhi cow. This is how it is that demigods and devotees and demons, they have completely different tastes. Yanisha Sarvabhutanam, what is attractive, as Bhagavad Gita describes, what is the day for materialistic people is the night for transcendentalists, and vice versa. So, and the tastes are different, like we can see. Devotees like everything purified, and demons like everything putrefied. You can see devotees, they enjoy drinking charanamrit, and demons are enjoying drinking putrefied, fermented, rotten juice. That's wine or whatever you call it. And the more rotten it is, the more expensive it is, the more people are interested in it. And this is what Narottam Das Thakur describes in one of his songs. Manusya janama paiya Radha Krishna na bhajiya janya shunya vishakainu. That if human beings are not worshipping Radha and Krishna, then they will consciously drink poison. And we can see how it's happening in the world today, unfortunately, because people don't worship Radha and Krishna. They drink poison, they smoke poison, they shoot the poison down their veins. So many unfortunate things are happening, and they're just wasting this valuable human form of life, which is actually meant for developing our direct relationship with the Supreme Lord. And it's been always described, it's been like that since time immemorial, even when Lord Sri Krishna, he told Pandavas and Kauravas, I will not take any side in Kurukshetra battle, but I can give to one of you my whole army, but the other party can have me alone. And we know that Duryodhana immediately chose Krishna's army, so he went for power. But Arjuna was interested only in Krishna, and they had no competition, right? So because their interests were diametrically opposite. And so here, all the rishis, all the sages immediately grabbed Surabhi cow, because they knew that Surabhi cow means milk, yogurt, ghee, ice cream, so many wonderful things. And Tesco's were not existing at the times where you could go and buy all these milk products, so they used the opportunity and they took the Surabhi cow. And it's explained that the primary reason why they wanted Surabhi is to conduct yagyas. And because the most essential product which cow gives is butter, from which the clarified butter is made, ghee. And with ghee is very important for conducting sacrifices. And Srila Prabhupada explains that cow is extremely important animal in human civilization. And here we are in the land of Radha Gokulananda, and the name Gokulananda means Krishna, who is enjoying, who is blissfully residing in Gokula. Gokula literally means, Kula means family actually, and Go means cow. So Krishna, who is happily residing in a family of cows. It's a very strange name, right? Gokula, family of cows. Normally people don't think that cows can be included as family members. But nevertheless, people are very comfortable with the idea of including cats and dogs in the modern times as their family members. And it's completely terrible. One time I was riding on a bus, intercity coach, and right behind me there was sitting a couple, husband and wife, and they didn't have the child with them. Maybe they didn't have the child at all, but in the place of a child they had a dog. And this dog was bull terrier. If anyone knows that, this dog looks like a pig or something, with no hair, very, kind of ugly face with tiny little eyes. And they can be really dangerous sometimes. And actually, in some countries, they are equated to weapon, and one has to have special permission to keep the bull terrier, especially going to the public. Because these dogs can be very, very aggressive and very dangerous to human beings. But anyway, the woman was keeping this bull terrier on her lap while riding in the bus. And of course, the nature of the dog, that it is very unsteady. Dogs, they don't like to be in one place. They don't like to be confined to one place. They want to run around. But here this dog was forced to sit on this woman's lap and was like turning and twisting and trying to escape and looking into the window all the time. And then there was one stop, and it was summer, and the dog was looking out of the window, obviously, because it wanting to run around. But then there was one man there who was selling ice cream. And the woman looked at the ice cream, looked at the dog, and she said, "Oh, what are you looking for? You want that ice cream? We'll get that ice cream for you." And then she sent her husband to buy a cone of ice cream for the dog. They were treating this dog exactly like a child. And then he brought that ice cream, and then this lady offered the ice cream to the dog. And that bull terrier licked that ice cream one time and then completely lost interest in it. And the lady was saying, why didn't you like this ice cream? It's so tasty, look. And then she licked that ice cream herself. And I was thinking, oh my God, it's so clear where this lady is heading to. It's so clear what will happen, like taking maha. You can say so, from the dog, taking dog's remnants clearly makes one into dog. But this is the pathetic situation, actually, of the modern civilization, that it's so unfortunate. People eat and sleep with dogs, so they're making dogs their best friend. And Srila Prabhupada therefore used to say, my challenge to the modern civilization is that you kill your mother, cow, and the dog became your best friend. And Srila Prabhupada was expecting this situation to change, and he expected, whom did he expect this situation to change? Us. Yeah, he expected us to change the equation and help people to understand the importance of mother cow. And Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport that the main importance of the cow is spiritual. Why do we take care of the cow? Of course, these benefits are all there. We have wonderful milk products, all kinds of milk products. Speaking for myself, I would not be able to imagine my life without milk products because I love them always. And sometimes my disappointment in our organization that many devotees unfortunately become influenced by the demoniac propaganda against milk products. And sometimes devotees, they start cooking with oils for Krishna and offering these preparations made with oils for Krishna. But Krishna is not known as lover of oils. Right? We never hear these pastimes that Krishna went into some gopis' storeroom to steal oil and consume it. That doesn't exist. He loves ghee, he loves butter, he loves milk products. And therefore, to please Krishna, we offer him everything cooked with, as Prabhupada was saying, first-class ghee. And it actually is very beneficial. Even from the health standpoint, that it is described in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehamashita, that I am the fire of digestion in the stomachs of all the living entities. And in one sense, when we take food, it's a kind of oblation to Krishna also, because we put this food into the stomach, and then that fire which digests the food is Krishna himself. In the same way as Krishna himself is the fire in yagya, when we offer oblation and ghee. And just try and maintain the fire with oil. Just try to pour oil into the fire and see what will happen. It will not burn properly, and therefore those who are influenced by this demonic propaganda and abandon milk products and abandon butter and ghee and take to the oil, they just slowly but surely destroying their own health, destroying their own body. And therefore it's not a surprise that people's lifespan is shortening by day. But of course the main benefit of keeping in close contact with the cow in all respects is not those wonderful products which cow gives. And there were many, many benefits discovered connected to the cows. For example, if anyone has, and that could be useful information for devotees also, if anyone has any problems with blood pressure, you can just go to the cow and, by touching the cow, by keeping your hands on the cow, the effect will be that blood pressure immediately becomes normalized. And I was thinking that nowadays people, they looking for alternative means of restoring health, and there is something which they call horse therapy that they discovered. If people are in touch with horses, it's beneficial for their health for whatever reasons, but they haven't discovered cow therapy yet, and because cows are so much more beneficial, keeping in touch with cows is so much more beneficial for health. Therefore, people who live in a countryside and keep cows, they also live very long life. One devotee was preaching in one village near Mayapur. That's the place where Lord Chaitanya took sannyas, Katva. And he preached to the local residents there. Amazingly enough, some of the dumb buses, they don't know much about importance of Krishna consciousness. It says that candle lights everything around, but there is always dark under the candle. So we can find sometimes this amazing phenomena even in holy places, that sometimes the residents of the holy places are in ignorance. And sometimes we see that immediate relatives of the devotees, like Srila Prabhupada's, some members of Srila Prabhupada's family, immediate family, they were not recognizing or appreciating the value of Krishna consciousness, even though Srila Prabhupada benefited the whole world. And so he was preaching, and he introduced one lady, one village lady, to the practices of bhakti, and she took it up. She started chanting one round on her beads, and sometimes we're talking about late start in Krishna consciousness, so this was really late start. This lady was already 102 years old. Bhaktin, who started chanting. And but the most amazing thing about this village lady is that her health, while she's 102, is perfectly, she has perfect health. Even her eyesight is very good. All the teeth in her mouth are her own teeth, and she still works. She still takes care of the cows and, works in the field every day in the garden. The only little difficulty with her health is, sometimes she cannot hear properly. But that's all. But this is not a surprise for India, because in India everything is so loud. Naturally people are losing their hearing. So, there are many, many benefits coming from the cow. But the main benefit is that the cow is very dear to Krishna. And how dear the cow is to Krishna? Well, Krishna is wearing his most favorite gem, which is called Kaustuba, on his chest. And guess what this gem is engraved with? It is engraved with, a calf. So there is an image of a calf on the Kaustuba gem. So Krishna is keeping this calf, the image of this calf, right next to his heart. And therefore, when we offer our pranams to the Supreme Lord, we are chanting this very well-known mantra, Namo Brahmanya Devaya, Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha, Jagat Hitaya, Krishnaya, Govindaya Namo Namaha. Krishna is known as Govinda, one who is pleasing the cows and senses, but cows in the first place. And then he is described as the Lord of Go and Brahmana, as the Lord of cows and Brahmanas. And my Guru Maharaj is mentioning, it's very interesting to note that cows are mentioned first and Brahmanas later. And we see that there are so many pastimes of Krishna when he goes out with surrounded by so many cows in Vrindavan, and we never hear one pastime of Krishna where he goes in the forest surrounded by Brahmanas. So that is the proof that cows are even more dear to Krishna than Brahmanas. And Krishna loves cows so dearly that it is described when Krishna was going out for the very first time. Actually, he was only 3 years old, but then he demanded, can you imagine 3 years old kid, and demanding from his father, I'm old enough, I also want to go out and tend cows. And no matter how much Mother Yashoda was protesting, but Nanda Maharaj said, no, it's good, let him become, let him take this responsibility. And then Mother Yashoda had to agree, because she's a perfect Vedic wife, accepting her husband as Gurupati, as Lord and spiritual master. And she had to agree, even though she hated the idea of being separated from Krishna, because Krishna was all the time with her. But then, because of Nanda Maharaj's order, they started preparing Krishna for the first day out. And of course the cows were too big for Krishna to look after, so they chose calves for him. And Balaram went alone, and so many gifts were given to Krishna. He got his stick, the rope for the cows, and then his the flute was given to him. Whether it was his first flute or not, we don't know, but he got his flute as a gift on this day. And Mother Yashoda brought very special gift. She brought an umbrella for Krishna to be protected from the sun, and pair of wonderful shoes to wear to be protected from, all the thorns and pebbles. And Krishna looked at this and he said, I cannot take this, because my cows will be walking around with no umbrellas and no shoes. And if you want me to take these gifts, and actually Mother Yashoda even supplied one servant to carry umbrella over Krishna's head. And Krishna said, if you want me to accept these gifts, you have to provide one servant with an umbrella and, 2 pair of shoes, right? Because calves have 4 legs, for each calf. And Mother Yashoda looked at how many cows were there, and they were unlimited, asankyatai, unlimited number of cows. And she said, no, I'm sorry, Krishna, but it will be very, very hard to organize. And then Krishna said, in this case, I'm not accepting these gifts. I will be walking barefoot. And I won't be protecting myself from the calf, from the sun, because... And then he made very deep statement. He said, Dharma rakshati rakshitaha. And what is the meaning of this statement? Is one who is protecting Dharma is protected by the Dharma. And he said, our duty as cowherd community is to protect our cows. And what is Krishna's standard of protection? That we should not have better facilities than our cows. Very high standard. And therefore Krishna is known as Gopal. Pal means protector of the cows. So he is the first and foremost protector of the cows. And therefore we as devotees, we just follow in Krishna's footsteps, trying to take care of animals which are most dear to Krishna. And do something to prevent these ignorant activities of killing the cows for the sake of consuming their meat, which is completely horrible and completely destroys everything good people ever did in their lives, destroying all the good results of their activities. And hopefully it will happen in the nearest future, as some of the devotees know that we're working on developing Spiritual United Nations project to introduce the effectiveness of spiritual technologies to the world, starting of course with that one pilot project of eliminating crime with spiritual technologies. Our spiritual technologies will of course be chanting and prasadam distribution, but we want to involve so many other spiritual groups in the process. And once we get our results, once authorities will see that spiritual technologies are producing the results they cannot produce, then they will be taking us more seriously, and at some point we can actually convince them. And it's very realistic. We can convince them to stop slaughtering of cows and close all the slaughterhouses. And we can make this wonderful country, Great Britain, first violence-free country, which I'm sure would please Srila Prabhupada very much. And definitely Krishna will be very happy if we can take care of his beloved animals, cows. And in this way, not only we can get benefit, but we can benefit the whole world. Hare Krishna.